Jane has a problem with her sorghum. It has been invaded by fall armyworm, and she has been spraying. But is she doing it the right way?
I haven't been trained on spraying. You see, like when the sorghum is flowering, there are some armyworms which enter there and they affect that plant. If you won't spray, you cannot harvest. It will eat all of it.
To help Jane with her spraying and safety, we have called Benson Gigi from AAK Grow, an expert when it comes to safety. Jane,
Yes.
you're doing a fantastic job. I can see from your shamba there's a big difference between your crop here and the neighbor there. What did you do to get it into this kind of a, good state?
I'm using CA, Conservation Agriculture.
And when it comes to weeding, how do you control your weeds?
First time, I use herbicide. I
Okay.
spray in between the lines without touching the seedling. After that, it's when I will come and weed normally with djembe.
When using herbicides or pesticides, what should farmers do?
Hi, how are you, Madam Jane?
I'm very fine.
Yes. So who does the application of the herbicides and other pesticides on your farm?
I look for someone to assist me, and even I myself, I normally do.
The people who applied, are they wearing personal protective equipment?
They don't have.
Okay. These pesticides are usually poisonous. So the first thing that you need to protect your skin and the body is an overall. So the overall is to protect your body in terms of the abdomen and the legs and your hands. It is important that it has buttons that you can operate very easily. And a good overall should also have a cape to protect your head and your ears. And you also make sure that it is made from good material. The material should ideally be a blend of polyester and cotton. It is advisable for you to spray early in the morning or late in the evening when the sun is not very hot and the PPE is more comfortable during that time.
After using it, does the farmer need to wash it?
Yes. For all personal protective equipment, it is important that after every use, the ones that can be washed, you wash them to avoid accumulation of the pesticides that might have spilled on it.
Excellent.
And it is also important you do not mix the personal protective equipment and the domestic clothes. So they are supposed to be washed separately. You also need a pair of nitrile gloves. You will see that they have markings on the hands. These are supposed to enhance the grip so that when you are handling the bottles or you're handling the pump, you have a good grip and nothing will fall apart. And then for the face, we have a mask. The mask is meant to protect your nose and your mouth to prevent entry of the pesticides into your nose and mouth. This type of mask is known as a respirator. It has what is known as a cartridge inside here, and the cartridge is what filters the air. This one is not a disposable mask. So when the cartridge is used up, it is what you will change, and then you return it and put it in place for use. Then we have the goggles. You can see they are meant to protect the eyes, and they have ventilation so that when you are wearing them, they do not form a mist on the screen. The screen should also be made of Perspex plastic. It should not be glass so that in case it breaks, it does not harm your eyes. And then the elastic band is to hold it in place over your head. When you start sensing the smell of the pesticide, then you know your cartridge is worn out. And then finally, for our feet, we have the gumboots. They should be made of rubber. You should wear a correct size of the gumboots for ease of operation. And they should not have a lining. When you look at these ones, they do not have a lining. And the lining is to prevent accumulation of the pesticide. Just in case anything spills, it is a bit easier to wash. You should not use leather boots or any other form of boots that have a lining because they will absorb the pesticide as you work in the farm.
Yes. Jen,
Yes,
any questions so far about the PPE?
I have.
Okay,
Yes.
ask our expert.
Now we are in the reserve, and it is worn out. How are we going to get it?
Yes, we encourage the farmers to go to their nearest agrovet. We are also encouraging the agro dealers to stock up on personal protective equipment so that as they sell the pesticides, they are also making sure that the farmers are well protected. In these days of e-commerce, it is easy to make even an order from Meru town or Nairobi town, and it can be delivered to your farm. One other reason that we get from farmers that they are not using PPE is that it is expensive. But when you compare the cost that you use for other farm operations, let's say weeding, buying the pesticides, buying the fertilizers, a full set of this PPE will cost you around 4,500, but it will last you for even up to 3 years. So when you divide by the number of years, it is a very affordable investment that you make to protect your health.
Protect yourself properly when spraying. Ensure you have a good overall that does not soak moisture and has a head covering. Wear gumboots that do not have a lining that could soak chemicals. For your head, wear goggles and a mask. And finally, good gloves with a grip. Penina can now get right to spraying the fall armyworms.